Test. Here we go. You need a microphone. Let's run in all the direction like headless chicken. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. So while our next speaker is getting ready, Happy New Year. Thank you so much for being here. I know life is hard, and we made it even harder to make you think about the future. So what we know is that this is an event for our creative community. This is the ninth time we are organizing this, PechaKucha, since last year. Some of you have been participating, and basically every time we try to bring the bright examples of those people who are, creating this brave new world that we would like to call. Basically, every day you wake up, you wake up to a new world created by 8 billion people that were living before you, and they did all the good things and the bad things, and it's our turn to create a new day. For this, we have quite a few presentations that shows what our creators are busy with every day. So we will start with Nikolay, who has created a creative space. We will continue with Dobrian, who's and who else is there? Our speakers are not all there. So Sonya, I hope she will arrive. She will talk about her marketing and work on AI, especially integrating AI into marketing. And Dobrian is working on making apps and games more accessible to children, and a little bit of, let's say, selective way of doing that. So he created quite a good solution. Then we have basically Sevda, who's going to show her work with kids, but specifically using art and all the techniques and, let's say, good ways that they can be initiated. Then we have Kris and Toni, who has started almost at the same time 1 year ago with Creatosphere. So we're like running in parallel and sometimes exchange notes and how to do better. So you will see a kind of a retrospective of what you have been doing and what you're up to, how you can bring that to the future. Then we have Marin from MP Studio, who will show you the great illumination works that he has been doing for a decade, even 2 decades. And we will finish with Gergana from Red Vertex, who they will show you the future that are built in imagination, right? Imaginary futures of buildings, some of the highest buildings and most interesting architectural. And in the meantime, we are also streaming this online. If there are any comments, we will share. But basically, it's all we organize all this only so that you can meet each other and network outside. So stay with us, go to other people, find out who they are, and yeah, let's start the show. Nikolay, if you're ready.
Yeah.
Here we go with your presentation.
Should I use this one or because I have both? Both. Okay.
Can you only use one?
Only one. Okay. Good. So that was quick. I just arrived. So thank you very much for having me here. I'm ready to start. I practiced a bit. I hope that I will give you a good presentation.
Just a little intro.
Okay.
And it will be yours.
So my name is Nikolay Ivanov, and I'm co-founder of a studio called Lobster. It's a creative studio for animation and illustration, and we work with clients all around the world. And our goal is to create really high-end animation work for advertisement or for agencies, for clients, as well L44, which is a creative space. Here's a little bit of the work of Lobster, so you can get to know what we do. So everything started back in 2014 when Italian illustrator reached me out on Behance, saying that he enjoyed my work of animation and he would like to collaborate. So for the next year or so, we started collaborating on personal work and we created a lot of things. We managed to work together really well until we did finally a small short film that was presented in Varna in the Animation Film Festival. And this is our first romantic picture together. This is in Albania. We actually went to another festival that is for advertisement, and we just spent some time together exchanging ideas and just talking about everything. So a little bit later, a few years after that, in 2017, I decided that it's time to build a small studio of animation because I really wanted to work with like-minded people and find someone to create things on the level that I was wanting to do. And then I rented that space that was 17 square meters, really small. And then I did some renovation. And a little bit after that, I started with my first two colleagues, Theodor Hristov and Petko Modev. Theodor is still in the studio. With Petko, don't work anymore, but he's doing really amazing work. And for a couple of years, we've been creating different things, evolving, learning, and trying to get better and better. Until in 2019, on the same building, there is another place that was for rent, allowed for rent. So I had just a couple of days to decide if I should move to a bigger studio or not. At that point, I didn't need it to, but I said, okay, let's do it. So it was my first big project to take a new space and fully renovate it. And for 3 months, we did the full renovation of the space. And then we arrived to the final studio where we moved the three of us. And step by step in the next years, we became a few more people, around 7 or 8. And then we had finally the tennis table, which was a very big achievement, and a space for that. So we played a little bit of tennis, doing animation. And in a couple of years, actually 2019, when we moved, a little bit after that, COVID arrived. And that studio that I've been creating actually became a bit pointless because everyone started to work from home. And then for the next year and a half or two, work in animation became really a lot, especially for what we do, because people were isolated, they had to stay at home or don't meet too much. And then we started to create a lot of things, managed to make a lot of new contacts with artists around the world, with new clients. Also, the communication became only email or Zoom, and there were no real meetings like this one, for example. And this is how actually the idea of the new space that I would say a few words about came to reality. And I really wanted to make a space where we can combine different things and make people come and meet and exchange ideas. So the initial goal was to create that cafe, the gallery. We wanted to have the studio there. We wanted to have a co-working for sure for creatives because we wanted to find more people like us. And then we finally found this house, which was not in a great condition. And I actually didn't know how much work it would be to renovate it. And unlucky, the war started on the day I signed the contract, so everything became way more expensive. And for the next maybe 2.5 years, we've been in renovation until we arrived to the final result. And this is just part of what the floor planning was, of how we would change the different floors and areas based on what we would like to do. And actually, I just realized doing that how much things we have to do until we open. I initially thought it would be like 8 months of renovation, but in the end it was way, way, way more. And the building has a lot of surprises. During the way we discovered a lot of things that were just looking great, but actually when you start renovating, they were really bad. So everything had to change. I never threw that much trash in my life. And I didn't know how much trash you can throw out of a building like that. So in 2024, we finally arrived to the final moment and the building was complete. It took me a couple of months to understand that no more workers would be around and the thing is finished. So we started to actually try to give a life to the space, to learn how to promote it, to create events. And the very first thing that started to work in the space was actually the print club, which I do in collaboration. It's a print club for screen printing and risograph printing in collaboration with Situ Studio. And these are the first workshops that we did. And we had some artists from Sofia that got some exchange with people that are working, really good professionals in the industry from abroad that came to do these workshops. And after the workshops, we did our very first exhibition in our new gallery, which is, I think, the only pink gallery I know. And we opened it with that show. Things were still very plain. We didn't have much stuff in the space, but it was really a culmination moment of seeing people coming to the space and just giving some life to it. And then we had a couple of exhibitions last year with a few different artists. We started with Miguel Camprubi, which we collaborate a lot with Lobster, with that big sculptures on the left. We had Elezisu, who did amazing big murals. And then at the end, we had Marilu Four, who did sculptures, neons. We did animation with her as well with the others. And another important thing of the space is our tiny co-working, way less than here. But the idea of that co-working is that we just attract people that like to spend time among like-minded people and just exchange ideas, grow, help each other. And this is what we would like to do in the future. And very last but not least, part of the space is the cafe, which would bring different people that are not connected to us in the space. And we are creating also different events, like the one that we have is a regular drink and draw meeting that we have each second Thursday of the month. And it gathers a lot of people. It became really cool. Then, for example, we had that jazz concert among the big sculptures. So we try to do a lot of different, non-usual events. And we always welcome more crazy ideas to develop. And now we look ways to make them possible. So thank you very much.
Sonya is next.
Yeah.
This. Won't tell your husband. Okay, we go.
It works. Just tell me.
All good?
Start. Hi everyone, I'm Sonya Trivedi, an AI marketing expert, and today I'm super happy to present you the topic AI and the new era of marketing and creativity. In just 400 seconds, I plan to present some new ideas on how to use AI to the best of your advantage. Let's start. So, how many of you think of AI when they see this picture? You know, end of the world coming. Yeah, I can see some smiles over there, robots taking our jobs and so on. That's the common misconception. But today I'm here to present you a totally different perspective. Let's break it down, starting with the fundamentals. Have you ever thought what AI is, right? Like AI is the science of making machines smart, right? And this is a definition by Demis Hassabis, which I really like because it shows very clearly that AI is about enhancing intelligence, not replacing humans. You might be thinking, who is this lady in front of us talking about AI, right? So I will spend a few seconds to just talk about myself. I lead a global AI marketing consultancy working with small to medium-sized companies from all around the world to help them integrate AI in their marketing processes. We have implemented more than 100 projects with our team, and we keep counting. I started my journey with AI before the ChatGPT era with a project called Voice Talks by Google Assistant. Then was the first time I understood what is conversational AI. And I got hooked by the new era of co-intelligence. These are 4 main principles that you should know about co-intelligence. First, always invite AI to the table. Second, be the human in the loop, obviously. Treat AI as a person, but always assume that that would be like the worst AI we'll ever see. By the way, if you like reading Professor Ethan Mollick, I highly recommend it. There is a fact that 80% of what we all do is going to be AI assisted in the next 1-2 years. Scary? Not really. Should you be aware of that? Definitely. So here are a few main trends that you need to know in order to keep up with everything. So 4 things I want to share with you. First of all, AI agents. All of you know about them, right? They're coming this year, but we expect them to pick up in the next year as well. Large language models such as ChatGPT are going to communicate with other large language models such as Claude, for example, to deliver the answer that you need. Also, they will be able to self-improve and they will be able to hear, speak, and have more knowledge than any single human on a subject. Scary, right? I think not really if we use it smartly. How can you use all that in marketing? I'll share with you a few marketing use cases here that you can start with. It could be practically everything, from email, PR, everything, lead generation, social media, video with tools such as Sora and so on. The most important thing is actually to uncover the best use case for you and your work. And I'll give you 3 questions how to do that. First of all, is it data-driven? Second, is it repetitive? Third, is it making a prediction? If you have yes on all that, this means that it's a good AI use case. And what you should do after you uncover it, there is a method on how to continue. So the method is called 30-90. This means you activate it for 30 days, you keep it for 90 days, and then you decide if you need to cancel it or continue. I found that method very simple, but also very effective to start with AI, especially with your first project. Of course, you need tools for that, right? There are like thousands of tools available. Here, I just handpick a few of them depending on the use cases, which I believe are really good for that. But if you want to do it yourself, keep in mind that they should be like really actionable, they should have really good support and also very good community. And the most exciting part is that we're building to ourselves. And this is like the first AI-powered marketing consultant called AMAR. Imagine that you are in a session with a human, but you speak to the AI. And you share information about your business. At the end, you get your marketing strategy and plan. Everything is hassle-free, no need of prompting, no need of marketing skills, because it's designed by marketers for small businesses and startups. And because we believe that AI is not completed without humans, basically, we provide human support too. I definitely think both should go hand in hand. And we provide support in terms of revision of the strategy and also making sure that the companies who use it implement it to the best of their capacity. AMAR was born out of curiosity. And I can't emphasize enough how important it is to be curious in the era of AI. Here, this quote over here, it's written by me, by the way. I'm not a coder at all. I understand zero. With the help of AI. Once I managed to do that, I said to myself, everything I can imagine is real. And today I said that to you as well. Everything you can imagine is real. If you have an idea, go build it. If you have a dream, go build it. If you want to develop in your work, AI can help you do that too. The same as I felt empowered to do that, I started building my rocket ship. I know that you can build it too. So be fearless, be curious, and go start building your rocket ship. Thank you very much. There we go.
Next speaker is Dobrian, designing for children.
Hey folks, yeah, I think you can hear me. So I'm Dobrian and I'm here to talk to you about kids. But first, I'll start with myself so we can skip the cover. So, I'm Dobrian and I'm a UX designer. I've been applying my trade since 2012. I've been working at small companies, but like each year on, I've been working for bigger and bigger companies, like Coca-Cola, like VMware. I currently work for VMware by Broadcom. So I got a UX Design Award nomination back in the days. So yeah, that's my profile, that's my work, and that's something I actually also decided to give back to the community. So I started teaching, mentoring, but also going to different conferences. I've been teaching at New Bulgarian University, Software University, like Nikki, and Sofia University as a guest lecturer, but some 3 and something years ago, I also became a dad. And that actually changed my perspective, the way I think about what I do as work. And I can tell you why in just a minute. You know, kids are a different species. So, you know, we as parents, we all want what's best for our children. And it's through playtime in their formative years that they develop key skills they need in the future. I think all of us know this future is becoming ever more digital. So if that's the fact, how do we embrace this digital future while still ensuring an optimal children development? We think about screen time and kids. So that's the part I'll be talking in just a minute. Meet our user, it's children. So let's just bring a few statistics so we are kind of living out the context. Statistics from 2017 for kids aged between 0 to 8 years old. 98% of households with children have access to a mobile device. 42% have tablet device. Now, let's actually go for the things that we have to consider as motive factors when we're designing for children. First of all, they don't like typing. Boom. Second of all, they would prefer tap and swipe, so mobile devices, touchscreen devices. And we also have to consider touch offset. It's basically touch offset. Another piece of things we have to think, cognitive factors. Kids also, as I think all of us, would not read. They would very much engage in visual content. And of course, especially younger kids, they would rely on instant feedback from the product, from the UI, so they know something happened. And I think the most important one, and something I actually apply in my designs, regardless of whether I'm designing for children or for anyone, it's storytelling. It's the art of creating a compelling story, a compelling narrative. As designers, we need to appreciate that and, of course, propel that when we're designing for children. But what about parents? They are our customers. And of course, I suppose we have parents here. We are protective and vigilant when it comes to our children. Like, we do think about safety and security, especially in the digital domain. We do rely on experts. And last but not least, we do think we have to have some sort of control over what our kids are doing. Now, let's have a quick look at our market. Numbers. I'm not even going to mention those. By 2031, the market cap for applications for kids will reach 1.7 billion. What are the driving factors behind that? Of course, it's the rising smartphone penetration. It's the fact that parents are becoming more tech savvy, hence they are relying more on technology and they are trusting it more. And last but not least, of course, technology is changing ever so fast. We have AI, we have augmented reality, virtual reality, you name it. And you can see my t-shirt. We've implemented all those things that we just mentioned into a mobile application called Toddler. It's a place where digital play meets physical play. In short, it's a collection of games that are designed to develop cognitive, motor, and logical skills for kids between 2 and 7, 8 years old. It's inspired by things we do at home. And of course, we are building this application as we speak. We have not forgotten about the safety and security part. So of course, no brainer. Our application is 100% app-free. There's no data sharing whatsoever. And of course, we've created the entire thing from the get-go with parents and specialists alike. Specialists, I mean like psychologists, children psychologists mostly. And we have not forgotten about the personalization aspect. So we have a cool, neat feature where parents can actually set how much daily screen time their kids get, and they're weaned off the screens without any tantrums, and I can assure you with that. We do have, of course, the option for parents to vote on what we build next. Hence, we are bringing, momentum even further. And of course, I'm a UX designer, so we started the entire thing with research. First part was research to inform. We kind of started to talk to parents and specialists about 3 main pillars: physical playtime, screen time, families, and apps. And here is a quick snapshot of the prototype itself. So that's how once we did the research in form, we would prototype the entire thing and give it to the hands of parents and kids alike to see how it works out. And here is a small sneak peek of our latest and greatest activity. It's called Picture Sudoku. Instant feedback. Perhaps you've noticed, whoop, someone just dropped a power there and it returned. And now let's have a quick sneak peek at the actual application. And there's even sound. So that's the actual application, and you can see Winter Slide, one of the latest and greatest games. Again, talking about tapping and swiping, talking about motor skills, talking about reflexes. Here's a small sneak peek demo of that. By the way, my son just loves to bump the sleigh into the... Now, we have 20 seconds, so I'm not delving into that. Of course, just to wrap up everything, we have to consider kids and parents when we're creating designs for children. With that, I want to thank you, and I'm wishing us a brave new world, which is child-friendly. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dobrian. So we will follow up with the house for kids that Sevda has built. Dreams in My Pocket Foundation. She has some special guests that will probably give you some tests. Let's see. Sevda, what do you need from our audience?
So, hi everyone. I would like to invite you to applaud my wonderful girls because they are my helpers tonight. They will try to be quick. They will give you a sheet of papers. It's not a test. Nothing as a test. It's a very nice provocation. I think everyone needs to be reminded how they felt when they were little children. So this is what we're going to experience tonight. Girls, don't forget the pencils. Sheet of paper and a pencil. You will thank me later.
Does it involve ducks?
I'm sorry?
Does it involve ducks?
No. Yeah. I should admit I felt a little bit better in the beginning when I arrived because there were not so many people. When all the others arrived, it's a mystery for me. I feel a bit scary. This is my first presentation when I'm going to speak in front of people about my work. Or maybe I should say I'm going to speak about my life, about my strong beliefs, that I'm not alone in this adventure in running this foundation. My husband and the person who's helping me to build all this is also here in the audience. And I want to say thank you, because I know I will not have time to do this in the 20-second slides. It didn't look so scary when I was looking for the speakers in front of me. But yeah, if we are ready, we can. Does everyone has a sheet of paper? Okay. Okay, thank you. How are you? I hope you're fine. Okay, not very friendly audience. You could support me a little bit. Please do so. Okay, so to live a creative life, we must lose our fear of being wrong. This is written on my personal studio in the 3rd floor in my house, where I met my first students like 6-7 years ago. And I realized my hardest job with these kids was to make them free, to make them brave, and not to think about their pictures, because it's very difficult to create anything at all if you are afraid. It's the most scary thing. And this is why I usually provoke them with drawing things with very short time. And I have a helper here. Dara, could you please stay in the middle? We are going to show you how we actually broke the borders, the limits, and we empower the children who come to our studios. And all these sheet of papers that you have and all the pencils. So you have like 10 seconds to make a drawing of data. And it should be great, it should be perfect, it should be fantastic, it should be your best work ever you have done. So go on. You have 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. Can I see your sheet of papers? You all are failures. I'm sorry. That's the first thing you need to know. You will never have enough time. You will never have the courage and the power and everything to do what you imagine inside of your heart. And this should be reminded to you very often, because the adults are very cruel to the young children, because the adults only say, oh, you have to do it. Make your best. You can do it. Oh, you have all the power. And nobody says to the children how to do it, and nobody tells them it's okay if you can't. It's okay if you don't know how. This is why we're here. This is why we are going to go ahead. And I think the presentations problem are in my favor, because we are again on this very lovely site. But what we do is, Dara also made this like 6 months ago. These are parents around who visited our studios. We wanted to show them how we work and how we support their children. And I'm very proud to say that we need maybe about 40 days to help the children to start really create and to be brave and to show their masterpiece and talents. And this is what we had to overcome for 10 days. The moment we decided to jump and to get out of my personal studio and just to say to the world, okay, we can do it. This is how it looks now. And I have to say that great things are happening here. As you can see, the butterflies and the birds in the middle are work of the children, because we explain them what is an installation, what is a modern art, and that it's not necessarily to be Leonardo da Vinci. So you can do and you can make art in very different ways. And after we give them the braveness, we give them the faith. We remind them that there is very little needed to start and to chase your dreams. And this is an installation. Here was the little piece that reminds us that we can only follow our dreams, and then we can feel happy. And this is some parts of our trips around the world. As you can see, everything is perfectly fine with the children. They read in the airplane. Can you imagine that? They read and they smile and they make friendships. And this is a provocation that we bring them to museums that they can see a pointless art. Can you imagine it? Outside, there is another pointless art. There is a picture of Friendovich, and the price of it is 38 million euros. I will explain later when we come to that. But after we gave them the braveness and we gave them the faith, then great things are happening by the children. We only give them the space, because they create a youth social club. This is Dara and Bella who are leading it. Every Thursday, they are meeting with young people they don't know, they have never met before, and they communicate on very interesting topics around the world, around their life, around politics, arts, education, and everything. And as you can see, we make children cook and prepare their own food. We make them to make songs and to send messages. We make them to create some crazy stuff and to sew. And here they are singing some very important songs. They are leading some workshops, changing the world and expressing their opinion, and that they realize that their voice matters. And You can see us in a very behind the scenes. You know you have built a community when parents bring a cake, when they collect together, when you meet people who never met each other before, but they have what to tell each one, and they have the message for each one to help them to go and to follow the dreams. Here you can see that we had a very few time to actually combine all our power and to make a donation for Turkey and for Syria. And these children actually gave their birthday presents and their toys. And here is how we support the children on a higher level. We make our battles with the government, with the education ministry, with the culture ministry, just to defend their right to participate in a very fair acceptance process in the schools. Here is my favorite topic. Everybody knows about the IV, but what you don't know and what you have never probably thought about is that the IV is great not because it's an IV. An IV is great because it changed minds. There are like 700 valedictorians that would never be accepted because they can't change themselves, they can't change the world, and this is what matters, and this is what we try to tell the children. And the privilege walk is something that I remind to every young people around me, that we need to fight for rights that are good for everyone. So I started to visit different universities in the world. This is my first chartboard with the universities and the ideas that the different universities in Europe or in the United States give. And I realized that I can't help anyone if I don't know them. So I went and visited all these universities and asked them, what do you give to the young people? And after that, you can break the rules. And this is how comfortable we feel at the end when we support children applying to the IVs. This is, by the way, 4 a.m. We are making an application for a university. And this is the Friendovich picture that I told you about. We have a huge donation from that artist. The price is really 38 million euros. The more expensive thing is that in that picture is that it was our way to explain to children the power of the modern art and why it matters. And this is the huge dream we have. We need a bigger space for working with children. So in the middle of Bulgaria, we bought land, a huge land that we are planning to make our future project and to be useful for the whole Bulgaria children. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anyone, any questions? Anyone got excited? Painting's outside, by the way. Okay, so Sevda, maybe we'll take the interaction to the outside. Yes. I'm sure a lot of people will ask you questions. Now we have Kris and Toni. You can use this one.
Okay.
Beyond the X.
Hi everyone, we're Toni and Kris, and before we start, I'd like to ask you, how many of you in this room consider yourselves creative people? Show of hands. Yeah, I thought so. But when people hear creativity, they think of this, you know, the classical paintings, the Starry, Starry Night. But what we do in Creatosphere mostly looks like this. We are Creatosphere, a non-profit organization based in Sofia, Bulgaria, working with experiential learning and learning by doing through the arts. So theater, music, writing, film, embodiment, and then other methods such as nonviolent communication, participatory forms of theater such as theater of the oppressed, and so on. And what we've come here today to talk about is art for building communities. Creatosphere has existed for a year. We just turned a year old on January 19th, and we've had a bit over 40 events working with the local community here in Sofia, creating various events. But then how did we actually do this is what we're going to talk about today. So let's take Creatosphere as a case study.
Yeah, so on our way, we established that there are like 5 factors that we want to share with you. The first 2 is the innovation and experimentation on one hand, and the free expression on the other. So what we're using are far from classical forms of art, like intuitive poetry, like the theater of the oppressed, or vocal expression, to actually give it a sense of playfulness and make people feel free to express and open up.
Right. And when people talk about communities in this world of digitalization, and especially after the COVID pandemic, what people say is that communities are not really scalable, but what they are is human, and human needs care. So what we did with our local community was over the summer, we had these 9 events that we created in the park for people to come together, just be with one another and create. So we had musical jams, some people brought things for face painting, some people brought juggling stuff, or we did acro yoga. So we did many other things with the idea of bringing the community together just to be with one another in an open space where people can come in and drop out at any time and just be with one another and create. And then, of course, we took the community's care, creating this depth of what we do with our events. This is our Entering Our 30s party, which is for people just entering their 30s. And what we wanted to do is start this conversation of how do we deal with this change in our lives? And then also with various methods, such as nonviolent communication. This is from our nonviolent communication event in summer, where we talked about our feelings and our needs, and how can we firstly connect to ourselves and what is going on inside of us, and then connect with others and resolve conflicts in a peaceful way that creates meaningful connections. And then we started the conversation about how can we actually create inclusive societies. This is from our Theory of Justice event that we created in summer again, and started the conversation of how do we use everything that we've learned to really create impact and meaning. Our team started traveling all around Europe, learning about various methods such as legislative theater, newspaper theater, radical honesty, authentic relating, and then also trauma-informed practices in youth work through the arts, and then taking all of this and bringing it here in Sofia in our events to connect with the people.
Yeah, and as we kept growing and kept making more and more events, we also established the 5th component, which was the professionalization of what we're doing. So coming from facilitation in non-government sector background and also from corporate trainings, we started bringing that knowledge and sharing it with the other facilitators. This is how the Create Your Workshop series started, where we're like sharing knowledge about learning cycles for the adults, a bit of project management to actually give it a solid foundation, and which naturally changed into the creator sphere. So that's our current community for the facilitators in Sofia, where we're actually like supporting each other, sharing practices. This is also a space for the facilitators for testing new experimental approaches. And a second element of this going professional was also applying for funding. Right now we have 5 grants awarded on the European level, and expanding to make our own, to find our own space in Sofia, where we can actually organize the events on a regular basis and where we can host the community. And also expand our program to be more diverse, to have different types of activities.
And so let's recap what is needed to create communities through art and artistic-based methods. So we need playfulness, we need a way for people to experiment and really innovate, and then also a space for them to feel safe in doing so, and a way for people to communicate with one another, as communities are built one person at a time, and so we have built ours in the same way. So giving people the space to share with one another while creating depth and really giving them the care to grow and be together, firstly connecting to themselves and then to the society and everybody around them.
Yeah, and as Toni said, we just finished our first year of being active. We're looking forward to the second year with our first youth exchange, with starting a nonviolent communication community, with also looking for more facilitators and looking for our own space, and also exchanging in a meaningful way with the business, seeing what we from NGO side can bring to the commercial sector and what we can learn from the commercial sector as well. So if you want to join us on this journey of building communities through art, let's talk afterwards on the networking.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe here. Can it happen? Okay.
Our next guest is Gergana. Is your...
Hello, everyone. In Red Vertex, we know what the future holds. Brave statement. I'm aware, but it's true. So bear with me for the next several minutes, and you're going to find out why it is true. First things first, my name is Gergana, and I'm an architect. In 2025, I'm going to celebrate my 10th anniversary in the company. And also, I'm leading a team of 10 super creative and talented young people, soon to be 11. My job is to create, communicate, and compete. During all those years, I've been part of the design of 10 buildings and created numerous more images for already designed buildings. Going for more numbers, in Red Vertex, we've worked on more than 6,000 projects all over the world. 240 are the professionals who are helping our clients' dreams and designs become reality, to be visualized. And 5 are the locations that all the magic happens. 2 are the visionaries that are behind the idea of Red Vertex. One goal, it's Red Vertex. And today, 17 years and counting into the journey, we know what the future holds. Okay, enough with the statistic. Let's go to the cool stuff. Here you can see 5 of the projects that we've been working on. And we are going to start with this one. Believing or not, this building is entering its final stages of the construction this year. In 2018, we were thrilled when we were contacted to take part of this project because of the client who contacted us, Zaha Hadid Architects, and because of the futuristic and extraordinary design that was proposed. The project was competition for a new headquarters of Oppo Telecommunications in Shenzhen, China. And to enrich your knowledge, up until 2024, Oppo holds 4th place for sold mobile devices and solutions worldwide. This was literally an opportunity that we did not miss. Next up is the vision of the genius Santiago Calatrava. This building was inspired by the wings of the falcon, a symbol of the Arabic culture. It was again a project for a competition for Dubai Expo 2020. And you can see this building now in Dubai. Everyone knows that the tallest building in the world is Burj Khalifa. The concept for the next tallest building in the world, Dubai Creek Harbor Tower, was created with our help and was taking shape into the world up until recently. Currently, the project is on hold. And the design is again a branch out of Santiago Calatrava. Here, the main inspirations were the minaret of the mosque and a lily flower. So pour a glass of wine and let's go to the beautiful beaches in Red Sea. This project is called Coral Bloom Resort on Shuraira Island. we've worked in 2021 with Foster and Partners to create all those beautiful visuals. And I invite you to do a flight of the imaginations and of your imagination, as we did while we were creating those visuals. Another island, Sadyat Island, a place for spiritual enlightenment, artistic culture, and cultural heritage reserve. On this island, the most notable architects of our time participated to create this marvel of design. And just to point some out, here we have the Guggenheim by Frank Gehry, the Louvre by Jean Nouvel, and the Museum of the Arts by Foster and Partners. And the only one thing that I'm allowed to share with you here is that more futuristic designs are going to be announced maybe soon, because maybe we are working at the moment on some other project. Do you know what the line is? The line is the most futuristic and huge project who is planned to be released in Saudi Arabia. We too took a part on this project while creating the visuals for the ski resort Trujena, and as you can see, it really looks like something from the scientific novel. And that were our visuals. Let's go to the animations. Thank you.
Marin, are you ready? Okay, so we have left all the spectacles to the end. Marin, if you're ready, let's go.
Hi everyone, my name is Marin. I'm the founder of MP Studio and also of Lunar Festival Flights. Tonight I'm going to present some of our works during the past year. And for those who doesn't know our work, here we will come one super short demo reel. In a second. So our year started in Saudi Arabia, in the middle of the desert, where we were hired to create the opening ceremony of the Alula cycling tour. It's literally middle of the desert in a venue, which is state of the art because it's the biggest mirror structure in the world until now, before the line, I guess. And we were very happy that last year we could extend our immersive experience in Amsterdam, the show Van Gogh and Rembrandt, with 2 more years. So it's a thing that you can still watch in the next 2 years in Amsterdam in the Nobel Cake. We were invited by WWF to create a show in Zagreb. Sorry that I don't have real footage from the building, but we are having maintenance on the server. So the idea that we were working was the connection between animals and humans through the art of meme captions. We were invited, because of the success of this project, we were invited also in Berlin to present the story. The idea behind was that we compared the human problems, actually the problems that animals are facing with some daily situation from the humans. Last year was the 20th celebration anniversary of Berlin Festival of Lights. And on the Brandenburg Gate, we presented a work that was tribute for the festival, because in the past 10 years, we created more than 13 shows there. So we made like a special show for the occasion. And since we were in Berlin, we had a really nice collaboration with the DJ Paul van Dyk, where he made a special remix of his album, and we were in charge for creating special visuals for his songs, and especially for his hit For an Angel. What you just saw is the teaser of our newest immersive experience and a show in Vienna, in Votivkirche. It's a show, an installation that you can see in the next 5 years. It's a really exciting production that we had the opportunity to work with really great artists. The music was a really special thing because it was composed by the composer Adam Lucas, who is an Emmy winner and also part of the studio of Hans Zimmer. The producer of the whole spectacle is a 2 times Grammy awarded opera singer. It's really funny that the opera singer decided to create or to gather a team to create this really nice production that we are really proud of. And in the same time where the premiere took place in Vienna, we were working on a really interesting location in Barcelona, in this historical place, Llotja de Mar, where we worked for a corporate event, but we had the freedom to create really nice stuff that we work. And we don't do things only in outside of Bulgaria. Lunar is a festival that happened during the last 3 years, and it was a dream of me to create a light festival in Bulgaria, because we are doing a lot of things outside the world for the festival. And we know the magic when the people go out. And and I want to present 2 of the artworks that we created for Lunar, 2 interactive installations. With this one, the people could scan a QR code to write a message, to get visualize this message in a couple of seconds to be interpreted by AI as an image. And at the end, you get a collaborative artwork from many people. And speaking of collaboration, this was another interactive installation where 15 people needed to act together in order to make the heart become alive. Yeah, in the meantime, it worked as a piano interactive installation. And for the last 2 years, we are supporting the Buduđe Foundation, where we present always a show. And for us, was really interesting to play with this shape of the building. Last year, we presented a show called Signal. watch it online if you're curious. Last year we were part of the biggest video mapping event in the world. It takes place in Bucharest, in Romania, on the Palace of People. It's the second biggest administrative building in the world, and we were invited as the winner of a Chinese festival to present our artwork there. The topic was traditions, and we decided to explore some of the Bulgarian folklore and some Slavic folklore ideas. And we created this visual spectacle. Also, we had Yulian Kostov as our main hero. And the year ended with a show in China. This was artwork that I did personally because since I'm father since a year and 4 months, I decided to make a show which is data sculpture with the data from my daughter. So this was my year. Thank you.
This is the end. Thank you so much. It was a great evening, 7 presentations, and I hope everyone is pleased with the performances. Thank you so much, Marin. Does anyone have any questions for our speakers, if you would like to interact a little bit? Otherwise, we can just go ahead and enjoy food. Any questions, anyone? Applause for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you.